Dooby 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 doo. Well, hello there. Ha. Here we are in the Creation Station workshop where things are getting interesting and fun and perfecting my crystal techniques. So I have to tell you a funny story. I was working on making a, I guess you would call it a geode base for parts that I've been creating to create my own geode. And after a couple days and all the steps I took to get this done, I realized once I had it in the pressure pot all sealed up that I didn't think it was going to work, and I didn't think it was going to come apart. So I don't know what's going to happen. So it could be total failure and end up in the garbage. Because sometimes I guess I just am not figuring things out the way I would like to. Anyway, I feel like I may have wasted some epoxy and silicone. Looks good though, right? Let's see. It looks like it's going to peel off the side, but it's not exactly what I wanted. You know, when you want to, it's not going to work because it completely sealed the other part of the silicone inside. So it's a fail. I guess it's a fail I could keep on my shelf for a paperweight. Luckily, I have another one of these castings, silicone castings, and I'll do it the right way next time. I just don't know why I didn't catch myself doing that the wrong way. Anyway, you live and you learn. It's all a learning process. So I noticed in the bottom of my disc that I have in the bottom of my pressure pot, a lot of my epoxy, this was from before when I first tried it, a lot of my epoxy leaked out and leaked down into the bottom of the pot, which isn't a big deal because the pot's concave, but I noticed I had this one all the way to the top full, and you could see it's missing epoxy. And this was more or less this is an experiment. This is something that I can't open and get out on film because I can only go like this with it, and that's as far as I could get it. And I can't get it out. My husband has to get this out. I have like rheumatoid arthritis in my hands. I don't have strength in my hands. I can't open jars and stuff like that. So there's no way that I'm going to be able to get this out. So I have to wait. I'll try to make a video when he does that for me. He got the original one out. So this was my first casting in it. So I'm just curious to see how it came out. I'm sure it's pretty. So I did a couple more castings. I'll be selling the resin, epoxy resin crystals, because not everybody wants to play with resin. Not everybody wants to play with the 24-hour epoxy, and not everybody wants to mess around with molds. So some people just want to buy the resin crystals. So I'm using my pressure pot, and these are bubble free. So they are getting listed up on the website. I also made this little guy with some leftovers. That's what I like to use my other little molds for. I did not make this. I bought this off the internet. And whenever I have a little bit left over, I like to just try filling things up and doing whatever. So when I go to open things like this, I usually give it a little squirt of liquid in there. let it move around a little. This is kind of big, but this should loosen up for me. It's just my hands are slippery on it now. Let's see if I could dry it up a little. Let's see if we can jar it loose. Come on now. I'll put a little more liquid in there. Let it get down to the bottom. There it comes. Okay, now it popped out. See how nice that works out? So I did pour a little bit of leftover from the other day. Went into the top there. And that was, what was that? I think that was like a magenta and another color of the epoxy candy shimmer tints in the tip. And then last night I filled up the rest of this. This was just regular epoxy, and this is the Bling It Green Primary Elements from Leslie Onstadt. So I mixed that in the clear, and boy does that sparkle, so pretty. Has a little bit of a green hue to it. So that's another pendulum that I'll be decorating for another day. I also did some baby super sparkle molds. And yeah, that's it for that one. So here is one that's going to be going up for sale. I put 1 drop of violet shimmer tints in this one. And I did a little bit of the Bling It in there. I think that turned out pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. So I have this in a food grade mold listed on the website, this exact one. And I'll be listing this mold up on the website. And they'll be made to order. And I'll be listing these crystal points, epoxy resin crystals, up on the website for sale. So there's going to be a section to look at for this. So I have to say to you that I've had the website up a little bit now, and we just now, I mean, I looked at it, and I didn't like how the menu looks on the mobile phone. It's just a couple little lines, and you can't see all my pages listed unless you touch those lines, and then it opens up all the categories. A lot of people don't know to touch those tiny little lines, and I'm not happy about that. So tonight we realized that you need to view my website on a laptop or a computer to see the full effect of it and all the many pages and all the different mold categories that I have listed up there. Because I found out that when people are just clicking on their phone and they're looking, they're seeing 1 or 2 things. And there's well over, there's like 15, no, there's over 15 molds in there now. We're almost hitting 20. It may be up to 20. I just took 2 down because they were one of a kind. Some of them are one of a kind. So when the person orders that one and I get the order, I go into the website and I delete that down, because some of the clusters are only made once, and when I take the mold apart, the whole cluster comes apart and I have to rebuild the next one. So, you know, all this is custom handwork. And anyway, so these will be getting listed up, and if you can view on a laptop or a computer, that would be the best way to view my website. When you go on the mobile app, up in the left-hand corner, there's 3 tiny little lines They're teensy. They're less than a half inch wide. If you tap those, it'll open up all the categories to my website. But like I said, a lot of people probably just overlook that at all, which is a shame. And the website is lekranchcreations.com. When I get up to my computer after putting this on, I will link that for you. If you go to any of my other videos, I should have the website linked on there too. So let's unmold this. This one's getting listed up. Now you'll see these molds in different sizes and different shapes. I use different containers. Just depends what's being molded and what I have available. So in one instance, it's in this size, and this is the same mold in this size. So this is mine. These two are my molds. They're being made in the pressure pot. So they're perfect molds without bubbles, and I cast epoxy and resin in them in the pressure pot, and there's no bubbles. If you take a mold, I was taught by Smooth On Company, if you take a mold that wasn't made in a pressure pot, there's minute bubbles in there that you can't see. So when you put epoxy resin into the mold and put it in the pressure pot, when it's just a regular old mold that was made outside the pressure pot, your stuff's going to be filled with pimples of resin all over it, because the pressure pushes the resin into any holes that are in the mold previous to it being made. So I'm casting with pressurized molds, and actually from now on I'm doing all my molds except for my Super Sparkle molds that are the flat round ones. Those ones are not being casted in the pressure pot. But I am doing all my crystal molds from April 2019 forward will all be pressurized molds. Okay, because now I have my pressure pot working. It took me several weeks to stop all the different leaks. So what I did was I ended up resining all my joints and resining all the leaks. So it just took a little while. I know people might think I'm crazy for doing that, but none of the other ways have worked. The plumber tape didn't work. The goop didn't work. Nothing. It just wasn't working. It's, it's just a shitty company that sells shitty products, and it's a converted paint pot into a pressure pot, which my husband did for me. And we had gotten the paint pot from Harbor Freight, and it's just not good quality. It's not a secret, so I don't feel bad saying that. But none of the fittings that came with that worked. They were all a mess. So okay, so here I can get this one out finally. This being a bigger mold is nice for my hands. So here we have the beautiful and stunning bubble-free. I don't know what would be a good background for this. I don't know if this is a good background. If black is a good background. Let me think for a minute where my black is at. I don't know. I had some black cloth around, but I keep cleaning and moving things. So we'll put this down and we'll look at it on the black surface. So these take time to make, and lots of love goes into them. Look how beautiful that is. All right, so the regular price for these are $35, and the sale price is $30. So this one will be 30, and when I do my big cluster, which I still have to, I sold the pressurized molds that I made already with that, so I have to cast myself another mold. But this one also is going to be regular 35 and then sold at 30. So this one was not made in a pressurized mold or pressure pot, but you get an idea that these are going to be these will be the expensive ones. The smaller ones that I'll show you next, those are going to be 25. But you could see the clarity. This is what you would call, if it was a real crystal, it would be called water clear, because you could see right through them. So beautiful. I know I'm excited. Yes, I think it's beautiful. Okay, so this is cluster number 2. The big one is cluster number 1. So I'm really happy with my pressurized molds. So we have, this is the C mold, letter C. And this will be listed as mold number 3. I have a hard time pulling things out with my hands, so I have to take my time. There we are, you little bugger, you. Let's see how we could display this one. I think we're going to go with the black again. Oh, that's a little dark, isn't it? Let's see what the pink looks like. Is that any better, or is that too reflective? It's too much like purple. How's that? Boy, I can't get the light right to save my life with this. So this was 1 drop of violet crystal shimmer tint, and I also had the primary elements Bling It Green mixed in with that. I think it's pretty. That's a 6-point with a couple of jerseys around the bottom. Yeah, I really like that. So this one's going to be, the regular price is going to be 30, and the sale price, which it's going to stick at for a while, is going to be 25 for this size. These are my main designs that I had made. Now I'm going to come up with a price for people that say somebody wanted to buy 2 or even 3. So there'll be an option after I list up my crystals. I have a lot of crystals, but I'll list up, you know, if someone wanted 2, I'll bring it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I'll have some options to work with on there. You just have to give me Give me a few days to get things going, get these up and everything. The main thing is getting the word out for people to view my website on a computer or a laptop, because a lot of people have missed so much. So I like that. I wish it was so that's the epoxy candy violet shimmer tint. That is 1 drop. And then there's some of a teeny bit of the bling green powder from Primary Elements stirred in. And I mean just the tip of a tiny little one of these little spoons. I'm talking I used a tip like that. Just that much. And I had a pretty good sized cup going. So I'm really excited and thrilled. I'll be making some of these crystals to bring down to the company where I get my epoxy A-Cast 690 from, the Smooth On company. And I'll be bringing them some crystals that were promised to them. So what do you think about that jazz? I think they make me happy. That's all I know. So I have something else that I was messing around with last night. As you know, I have the new line of the Sparkle, Super Sparkle crystal molds. That was the one that I unmolded last week. This was not pressurized. These are not pressurized. They're just too awkward for me to be trying to put into that. But I'll show you real quick again for anyone who may not have seen them. These will be available in food grade as well for people who do cakes, because these are nice and flat. And if they wanted something like this that they wanted to outline and have it shimmering and sparkling on top of the cake, they're very thin and beautiful. So we have the unicorn. We have the angel wings. We have the heart. And we have the mermaid tail. And the skull is a little bit different. This took a lot more casting and designing, so this one is a little more expensive than the other ones. These are no longer on sale. They were on sale for 10 days, and they're back. They're at regular price now. So I wanted to show those too. So I just wanted to play around, and what I did was I took some black diamond. It's the, what was that called? That black color that they have. Onyx, the black onyx. And I took a little paintbrush and I just rubbed very little bit in the gem sockets there of the onyx black. And then the epoxy has the Bling It Green from Primary Elements mixed in with the clear, which went over top. So it actually changed the color of the black onyx. So we're going to unmold that. Little ASMR. Okay, so there's our mold. And here's our little guy. He's pretty cool. I just wanted to experiment and see what it looked like if I did some darker colors. I'll be designing some more skull molds with some more designs in them. This was the first one that I came up with, so I'll be doing some other ones as well. He's kind of cool. So this is without primary elements, and this is with, you see the little green hue to him, the bling it green? And this is just plain a cast, unpressurized. Cool. I like him. I can't believe that I messed up that other mold though. I don't know what I was thinking when I built that backwards. I wasn't thinking much, that's for sure. And then I was playing around, just trying to use up some of my materials that I had laying around. Let me see if I could pop this out without ruining it. I mean, it is 24 hours, but they could still be a little pliable. This was not pressurized. There's no way I could fit this mold into the pressure pot. So this again, I put the Leslie Onstad's primary elements, bling it green in, and you see it's settled and laid inside all the gems there. I don't know if you could see that up against the black better. I mean, of course I could have taken my time and did different colors and poured different colors individually into the cavities. But I was just basically fooling around. This didn't quite work out the way that I had envisioned it or pictured it to, so I was just more or less fooling around with it and using up some of my leftovers. Oh, so on the edges of these, slippery little bugger, on the edges of these gems, I just want to round them off. I use my jewelry snippers, my wire snippers for making jewelry, and just take the edges off and give the round gem its shape. So as you could see, like, things are very real for me. Like, I show you my screw ups and I laugh at them because that's all you can do. You can't get upset. And it's funny because sometimes people will say, oh, I love that. So what we think is an imperfection because we're perfectionists of our own art, other people may like. So don't be too hard on yourself. It's all fun, and our art is to make us feel good and to give us something to do. And some people, it's the only thing they do for an income, and it might upset them, but I think it's better just to go with the flow, go with what's happening, and don't allow things to control your emotions. And that can take a lot of years to master. But it's better when you're able to, laugh at things and, haha, I was silly. I thought I could do this, and, just laugh it away. Don't let things upset you so much. So right when you're unmolding things is a good time if you're going to trim something, because it's just going to continue to get harder, as all the artists know that. I think it's interesting that if I were to go along the edges of the gems, that would be interesting too, but you know, I don't know if I like it or not. um, I mean, it's different. What I was doing was trying to make coasters, you know, so I don't know how well. Let's see, do I have any cups around? Well, sure I do. That's what I mix with. How about we use a water bottle? Yeah, sorta. I know, it's interesting. This guy, I know I know I can't get this out. This is really cool. It's a little bit short. My husband will probably have to bend it down. No, can you see it? It's sort of like a hexagon type thing. Let me see if I can get this close. See that? That's the shape that it is. And this is borrowed. I have to return that, so I borrowed it to make some shapes. But see, that hurts my hands trying to. I just don't have the strength. So I'm just going to have to wait till tomorrow, and I'll film how funny we look trying to get it off. The two grown people trying to get this out of that little hole. Anyway, I don't think there's anything else to show you. These were my main things that I wanted to unmold, and I'll be listing them up on the website. I'll also very soon be listing the clusters up. In fact, they can be ordered. I think I already put one up, because all my things are made to order, so you have to give 2 weeks. And for United States, it's $7.90 shipping. And if you're out of the country, you'll pay the $7.90, and then I will invoice you the difference of what it's going to cost from wherever you're at. And once that invoice is paid, then I ship out to you. So, you know, I have that written under all my items. So pay attention to what you're reading. You know, I don't pay for shipping, so anything that's out of the country definitely, unfortunately, is a little bit pricey. There's nothing I could do about that, to be honest. So this is what we got, people. And we got our little sparkle molds, these little guys. They're like little samples to show you what the sparkle molds are. I'm trying to start making them. I'm going to start putting little samples. When people order 2 or more from me, I'm going to put a sample in, maybe throw the little mold in there if they want to play around with that. And I just started making a bigger one, so I have to cast that. I haven't casted that yet. And I have a few other things working on. I listed up some more crystals. I just sold the 2 one-of-a-kind set. That went right away. So that's been taken off the site. And I put another one up tonight. I already have this one sitting on the shelf somewhere. I don't know where I put it now. It's, let me see if I can reach over here. Okay, this is the one. This one just got listed up. So this was not pressurized when I casted it, so it's not clear. But this is a one of a kind. So once someone buys this, it's no more. Okay, that's when the one of a kind ones are ones that I can't rebuild them the same. Everything becomes different. And there's also a smaller mold. Let's see. I had a box. I had a box with my molds in it. And I think I'm getting too much stuff around me because now I'm losing track of where I'm putting stuff. I have a little guy I'm going to be listing up. A little cluster with 4 points. Little tiny one. That one will be getting listed up. And I have a couple more food grade molds. So I'm going to be, anything that you see here, I'll be making them in food grade. For people who use isomalt, the sugar, to make crystals in that. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what's going on in my mind. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of, I wonder what I did with that box. I don't know. I had a box with the other molds in it, and I could have showed them to you. But I'm getting surrounded by stuff. So I'm going to be listing up a lot of different colored crystals that I have. Some of the ones that are not pressurized, but I have handfuls of them. I'm going to just like put a bunch of them up, and then, you know, if people want them the way that they are, they can have them, and they can clear coat them or do whatever they want to them. So in the next couple weeks, I'll be getting a lot more stuff up. Just remember, view my website on a laptop or a computer, or try to remember to hit those 3 little lines up in the top left corner, and that'll open up all the categories. And I still have a lot of stuff on the website on regular pages. If you go to the shop where it says shop, that's where you're going to find all of my crystal molds and stuff like that, where it says shop. That's where the shopping cart is, under shop. And I'm moving things from the pages into the shop. So eventually we're just going to have the shop, and that's where you're going to go. So for the pendulums that aren't listed, I did the pendulums. I'm sorry, I did the pendulums. They are in the shop. The earrings are not in the shop. They are on their own page, and I have 82 pairs listed. So that's going to take a long time for me to transfer those over into the shop. So right now you're using PayPal buttons to order earrings if you fancy the earrings. The silver pendants, silver 925 and 999 wire wrap pendants, those are on their own page. They are not in the shop, and those you will use PayPal buttons to order. If you want something and you can't find a PayPal button, but you have the number of the item and the price and the shipping, you can send the money to greenjuicemystic@gmail.com on PayPal. And then in the notes section, just write down what it is that you're ordering. And then I'll contact you, and we'll make sure that, you know, I know what you want. What else do I have? I have the wire wrap jewelry. I have copper wire wrap jewelry. And I have the silver, real silver, and fine silver wire wrap jewelry. And I have the earrings. I have geode moons. I have a section with geode moons that I have made. I also have about 10 that I still haven't listed up. And those have not been transferred over into the shop. I would like to get them into the shop, but right now I'm pretty sure they're just PayPal buttons. So the site's a little bit tricky right now because I'm making a transition. I upgraded to having a shopping cart and a shop, and I'll tell you, that was a little bit pricey. You know, they make good money with these websites. You're paying for the site, and then they itemize everything that you need, and you have to keep paying for every little thing that you want to add to have a good website. They just keep hammering at you. So look around the site. If you know I have something but you can't find it, just message me. Leave me a comment here or message me at greenjuicemystic, mystic at gmail.com, or you can message me at lekranchcreations at gmail.com. And our giveaway is Thursday. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Because when I get the notification that you have subscribed, I cut it out off my email printed out sheet and I fold it up and I put it in the glass that I have filled up with all the entries. So everybody who's on the channel, the 200 subscribers are on there, and then the latest 40 some are on there. So if you followed all 4 of the things you were supposed to do for the giveaway, the final 4 was to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So that's where I'm taking all the entries from, because if you only did the first 2 things and you didn't subscribe to the channel, then you did not get entered. And I'm only taking all the subscription notices names plus the 200 that I already have, because I kept all the names from the other giveaways that I did. So I have everybody's together. So it's going to be for this mold. So I'm going to give away this mold, and I'm going to give away a copper wrap pendant and a pair of earrings. And maybe I'll do a second drawing, not for a mold, but maybe just for like a pair of earrings or a pendant or something like that. As a secondary pull. So that's on Thursday. I'm going to go live. So make sure you hit the notification button if you want to see it live. If not, I just hope that I can reach whoever wins, and I'll give them a couple weeks that I'll try to get a hold of them. And then if I have to pull more names, then we'll go live again and pull more names in a couple weeks. All right. I thank you so much for everything. I appreciate all your support, all your comments, your lovely comments and emails. I appreciate your orders. It's really, really awesome. It's a great feeling to have so many people that I can talk to and relate with and make happy. And all the videos that are going up, Deborah Strachan, Lori McDonald, Monica Barnes, and gosh, forgive me if there's one I'm missing. Let me think. There was someone else that messaged me that's about to make videos. So, follow my Facebook page so that you could see I post everything on Lekranch Creations page. And a lot of stuff gets put up on the Instagram. I'm up to 1,300 followers on that. And I post up there all the time. And I post what I can on YouTube, and I'm working on making a couple of videos to post up more videos with a lot of stuff that I have recorded that I haven't posted up. And I think that's everything. So I'm going to let you go, and thanks for everything. Leave your comments and questions and hit that notification bell. Thank you so much. Check out the website and rock on, people. Make something beautiful. Ciao.